Good afternoon, traders. It is May 23rd and day 48 of the 100X challenge. As always, we have two accounts starting with $10,000 each between Tesla and Strategy, and the first to $1 million wins. I film this every Friday. No advice, just a journey, so follow along. Tap subscribe, and let's get going. All right, as you can see, it's been a really terrible week for Strategy. Let's pull up the ledger. Negative $1,500 on the portfolio. That's 10%. Tesla is actually about the same. Let's see here, 15,400. Just need to input that. All right, so we are down just $100. What's interesting is Bitcoin has gone past its all-time high this week. It actually corrected today. So why is Strategy all of a sudden lagging behind? Real quick, you can see 34% up so far on the portfolio against 28%. Which is the stock gain, 54% versus 35% for Tesla. So it's actually really good for Tesla to hold up. We're about the same portfolio-wise on Tesla, even though the stock has gone down. That is because our weekly income is supplementing the drop. So we'll get into all of that. Let's start with the charts. We broke out of this blue box, all-time high for Bitcoin. Everybody's partying. Everybody's having a great time. And then Friday comes and look at, we're going to retest this blue box, AKA the all-time high. Things went down today. So QQQ went down, SPY went down, and of course, Bitcoin went down as well. Strategy, unfortunately, went down much further. We're down 5% versus about 2% on Bitcoin. And Strategy has also been lagging overall. When Bitcoin hit an all-time high, Strategy actually has been kind of going sideways and down. There's a lot of other Bitcoin treasuries that have come onto the market. So a lot of the attention is moving to these smaller players, which have more upside. So in general, that's what's happening. There's probably also other things that are going on behind the scenes when it comes to ATM usage by Michael Saylor. He is issuing more shares at a very high rate per week. And long-term investors are not worried too much about this. And we're not going anywhere. We're going to stick to Strategy. This is, it's the whole point of the video. But also, I just don't believe in chasing the gains for this account. And so the big question is, how are we going to play it this week? Our spread, which I'm about to show you, is down for Strategy. But on the positive end, Tesla has done very, very well. But let's look real quick at the Tesla chart. And you can see we pretty much just went sideways. I think Monday we were around 350. Last week we were probably around 345. So overall, fairly sideways. We're sticking in this blue box, which I painted it a while ago. Remember when I said, I think we were right here. I said, if we go up, we're going to stop around this area. I literally painted this blue box and just left it there. We hadn't even entered the blue box yet. And here we go. Exactly what's happening is we stopped at the blue box, which is best case scenario, right? We either go up and then we retest going downward, or we just go sideways. So it looks like we just want to go sideways for a little bit before potentially moving back up. So I think it's pretty interesting, right? If you know a little bit about TA, you don't need to know all of the patterns and diagonal type trends. You can, but a lot of times it's just simple resistance levels and then figuring out where those might take us. So this blue box, probably something like this. So I expect us to get out, sometime in June, maybe the next week or two. But the overall market trend is going to make a big difference. All right, so looking into Tasty Trade, I'm going to start with the Tesla account. And you can see if we look at the weekly income, this is going to be the group where we took this covered call last week. I chose the 330 strike as a safety zone and turned out to be pretty damn perfect. We had dropped to 325, I think, yesterday. And at that point, I was like, okay, maybe I didn't go low enough. And then we rebounded right away. So, I'm trying to keep a good number that's fairly safe, but also provides a little bit of that weekly income. Our max was right around $400, and you can see that that's exactly what we're going to take home today. So I will be closing this and showing you the trade here in a second. Going over to the Strategy account, and you can see this debit spread, which we opened earlier in the month. We still have a week left on it. It's negative 413, so we only have $75 of total liquidity left in this trade. What I'll probably do is close this and then figure out exactly what we want to do going forward. I don't feel very confident that we're going to hit 430 by next Friday. So we're either going to roll this out, which is the same as closing, or start a whole different concept for this trade. But okay, let's go back to Tesla, because these weekly incomes is really why we're here. It's about making as much as we can per week. And here's the trade that I put together right before I went live. We're simply doing pretty much the same thing as last week, which we're going to buy a leap, or in this case, not really a leap. We're going to buy a call that's out into the future. So in this case, 1 month into the future at around a 90 delta. So it's going to act very much like we're holding shares, but with leverage, which is going to allow us to sell this covered call that expires next Friday at 325. So the way it's set up is we're good unless we go below 320. The price is 340 right now. So we've got $20 of cushion for us to move around if we drop lower. And if we go higher than that, it's all good. It's all gravy from there, right? So we're going to make at least $200 or so if it moves higher. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. 320 is our safety zone. If we go below that, it's okay. We've made so much on this when it comes to weekly rent or weekly income that, you know, one of these days it is going to fall below this safety zone target. And when that happens, we just have to accept it, because in most cases, we're going to win every single week. I'm very happy taking this trade. So 265 and 325, let's go ahead and punch that in. First thing we're going to do is close the current trade. It's near the end of the day. It's 12:30. It's going to close at 1. So we got to hurry up and get these through. So closing both for 59.35. I'm going to bring this down slightly so it goes through quickly. All right. And then the new trade's 265, 325. So 265 on June. And then next week, which is May 30th, 325. $5,900. That should equal exactly what it is on option strat, which it does. So we're going to go ahead and push this through. Okay, we'll let that simmer. We'll move over to strategy. We'll talk about that. Okay, so my strategy is, I had two options here. One, we could do the same thing as we just did on Tesla, which is we buy a 305 that expires June 20th in order to sell a covered call at the 265 mark. We could go to 360. I'm sorry, 360. We could go a little bit lower than that. There's a little bit of money to be made here if it drops, and a little bit to be made if it goes higher. But honestly, I'm not very excited about these numbers. The problem with strategy, and the reason why I haven't been doing this every single week like this, is because it can go down $50 much, much quicker than something like Tesla. Strategy is a beast. When it goes up, it rises fast, but when it drops, it dumps just as fast. And so that's my hesitation here, which is why we're not going to take a covered call. Instead, we're going to do another bull spread out into the future, going to June 20th, about 4 weeks. And we're going to take this spread, which is only going to cost us $670. So the spread is the low part of the leg. We're going to buy the 420 and sell the 460 that expires both on June 20th. And so what will happen is, if it gets to June 20th, which probably won't, we'll probably close it before then, but we can make up to $3,300 in profit. It's pretty insane over a $662 debit. So it's going to cost us $662, and we can essentially 5 or 6x that. I think 6 or 7x. It's over 6x of our total invested capital if it does go higher than that by the June 20 date. So this is what we're going to take, and we're going to go ahead and close the old one and make that happen. So here I am. Here's the income spread that is for next week. Don't like it anymore, so we're going to close it. This only costs us $500. So very, very small loss here, which is exactly why we did it that way. But we're going to get $75, $74 back. Let's make it 72. We need somebody to buy that. Let me switch over to Tesla and make sure that the other one can go through. Yeah, I can play with both at the same time. Okay. Okay. All right, we paid a little bit more for that, but that's fine. So Tesla is at 325 to 65 for next week. It looks great. And then strategy, we're just waiting for that one to go through. Let's replace it. We're going to pay a little bit more. Or we're going to, oh, no, it's the credit. Okay, let's just try and get a little bit less then. There we go. All right, going back to my chart here. 420, 460, June 20th. Okay, so we got this in. It's going up and down. Let's just try 670. All right, there we go. All right, and that is all, folks. Will we cash in another $400 on my Tesla call? And will the short-term master position that we did here be the right choice? We'll see. Tune in next Friday to find out. But until then, safe trading and have a great weekend.